we welcome alongside Callie Chateau-Sestia, who is a research assistant at the Two Oceans Aquarium Foundation. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, listen, there was, firstly, good morning. It's exciting to talk about this. I think these conversations should never stop, firstly. What happened a few days ago? It was a very big day. I believe last week, Tuesday, we celebrated something big. What was the occasion and how did we celebrate it? You guys aware of this at all?
Yes, very exciting event. It's the third of its kind in South Africa.
Yeah.
It took place on the 1st of August and it's Marine Protected Areas Day.
Nice.
And there were so many events that were celebrated on this day. So it first started off with a virtual tour of several different marine protected areas in South Africa. We had a Twitter chat for the online community.
Well done.
We had a webinar for recreational anglers to discuss pros and cons of marine protected areas. Additionally, the Two Oceans Aquarium hosted a Kelp Night event at the aquarium where we were surprised by some amazing hosts and guest speakers, but also some delicious kelp-inspired food, and that was really delicious. We had gin-infused,
nice.
kelp-infused gin and kelp-infused coffee, so that was absolutely wonderful. And then our team in Aliwal Shoal MPA, which is located on the KZN South Coast, they had an ocean festival where they actually walked the 30-kilometre stretch of the marine protected area to show awareness. And then we had some great activities in Sodwana Bay, where the kids got to explore the rocky pools, and the fun doesn't stop there. So this weekend, the Two Oceans Aquarium is hosting another rock pool, which is something like a treasure hunt. It's happening at Dalebrook on Saturday. Youth for MPAs is also hosting an event at the UKZN University, where they're going to be having a seminar and they're going to be having a screening of such an inspirational short film. And then we were so delighted that the Tanzania Marine Parks and Reserves held a full-day webinar to discuss some of the knowledge and insights created around marine protected areas. So it was absolutely wonderful, all these fantastic and amazing events to show marine protected areas, and all the people that participated really showed the importance and the belief in marine protected areas, not just for people, but for nature as well. So absolutely wonderful.
It's a connection, and these sorts of moments I don't think come just because we're having a wonderful day of raised awareness. These come on the back of a lot of work being done within these MPAs. Maybe, Robin, you can talk us through some of the major successes behind this, because this speaks to a community getting behind it. It speaks to a very active community within the industry latching on, but also, most importantly, people getting it. I think for me, it all started in a rock pool. I love that. So talk us through some of the successes.
Okay, so I grew up in a fishing village called Cork Bay. So I've had a very close connection to the ocean, and our role at WWF is basically to act as a catalyst, to bring people together, to try and inform, educate, assist where we can, because we have the fortunate position where we can go out and raise funds. So we partner with government, we partner with MPA management agencies, communities, and we pilot various projects. And we have a very successful project where the MPA is basically responsible for it in Betty's Bay, where we've taken young people, trained them up as coastal monitors, and the MPA and the penguin colony there, you know, has provided the environment for those monitors to learn a trade, if you like, and go out in the world, and they've got an opportunity they never ever had before, and the ocean provides that
as well.
Creating custodians of the earth. Come on, this is what it's about. I love this. I think that, especially in South Africa, we have every reason to obviously protect, right? And garner, nourish. This playground we have is incredible. You speak of this area like Betty's Bay and that whole Clarence Drive. It is phenomenal. We had a situation in South Africa. I think we're protecting about 5% of the oceans right now. Great. But surely we could do better. Let's put a hypothetical out there. What if we were to raise that number to, say, 7 or 8%? How much of an impact, how much of a difference would that small percentage actually make just on South African coastline and oceans alone? What would that impact be? Do you have any idea? Would it be that dramatic or not much of a change?
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but as a country, we're aiming for 30% of our oceans by 2030.
So we're far off that right now, yeah?
No, we're not. Technically, we're halfway there.
Okay.
So if you include Prince Edward Island, MPA, it brings South Africa up to 15% with our coastal and offshore
It makes
MPAs.
these areas so much more important.
And you know, the important thing is to raise awareness. You know, a lot of people just view the ocean as this basket of overflowing with resources.
Endless.
But we all have a role to play. You know, we have a lot of challenges. The ocean is under extreme stress from all these efforts. We got mining, we got oil and gas, we got communities, we got, you know, the ocean has to provide for all these people. And to find the balance is the key to it. So yeah, the challenge never ends.
And it must have that dynamic tension because you need passionate people who are up for the challenge to drive this. I think I'm becoming used to that fact that the tough times are what bring the right kind of people to the fore of these kind of challenges. Yeah, you need that. That being said, I've learned now that the state of conservation speaks to the state of the people. It speaks to the hearts, the minds, and the level of desperation of the people. This MPA kind of notion speaks to me of people taking responsibility for their own stretches of coastline, their own piece of the big blue. What difference have you seen in the communities where these protected areas are? What change do you see?
I'll add to that.
There are many challenges. Unfortunately, we don't sit in a position, if I take Madagascar, for example, they have a thing called LLMAs, which is where communities come together and manage a section of coast.
Take ownership,
Yeah, so South Africa, we're still in the process of building up towards that. Our fisheries are busy being sorted out now, but we're trying to get there, and as WWF, we're trying to act as that catalyst in that space to try and bring about change. It's very difficult because a lot of coastal communities feel aggrieved because of MPAs, because they've been disowned of a right to access. And some of them have every reason to be angry because it's a historical right that has stopped.
Sure. It's how that process is made.
Yes, and that obviously doesn't help MPAs, and some communities are against MPAs. But you know, when you mention MPAs, there's two types of MPAs. And there's an MPA where you can extract you know, anything out of it, species and whatever you get a permit for, and then the MPAs that are closed that you can't take anything else. So the Werp is one of those MPAs where it's a very important area for whales to come and calve, and that entire MPA is a no-take.
Out of bounds,
Love it. Well, guys, thank you. This is something that I think all of Mzansi needs to hear. These conversations need to carry on. And I think just before we go, where can Mzansi support any of these causes and get involved? Because I think after this conversation, they definitely want to. You can speak straight to the camera right now and speak to the people exactly. Where do they go?
So in order to protect marine protected areas, how you can get involved as an individual or as a community or as a household is by creating awareness. And maybe it's encouraging your family and your friends to think about these ocean spaces as safe havens. But if we're thinking about it, think of them as reserves like you would on land, and in that way encourage and inspire. But also if you are into fishing, stick to regulations. There's something called responsible recreational activities. So if you're a tourist, just abide by certain rules and just be mindful, respectful and responsible when entering these spaces. They are incredible spaces with lots and lots of diversity, and we want to protect it and preserve them for future generations. So one of the ways in which you can do this is following the links on our website, Marine Protected Area South Africa, and then we've also got an Instagram page at Marine Protected Area South Africa. There's lots of different ways in which you can protect it by using these links. There's lots of pictures and lots of pros and cons that you can use to inspire. So please, 100% protect our ocean spaces because it's for the future.
Yep, it's our greatest asset. Before you come for one of our jobs, I'll do a little bit of a role exchange. I absolutely love it. Robin, Kelly, thank you so much for all your passion every day in this space. I like to think of these marine protected areas as like the Louvre or these famous museums. You wouldn't go in there and mess around with a famous Michelangelo artwork. It's exactly the same thing. It's that level of asset for South Africa and for the world, except these ones are required for our survival. So make sure we protect them. Thank you so much to both of our guests. We absolutely appreciate you every day, not just today or the 1st of August, but every day.
Most welcome.